Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Just Glow podcast. I am your host, Gloria Velez, and my special guest today is Paul Anthony. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you for coming on.
Absolutely. What's going on, Glow? What's going on, people? Wonderful, wonderful. It's Paul Anthony, the legendary from Full Force and House Party for the younger ones who don't know.
Exactly. We actually just met each other, and I feel like we've known each other forever. Like our souls connected, like we got each other. Yeah. And that's why I asked you to come on because you get me. And I feel that with this topic, sacrifice, I feel like you understand it. So the topic, let's just go right into it, is sacrifice. Mm-hmm. And I believe we all made sacrifices in life for our children, for our parents, you know, with our time, with our money. I mean, have you made sacrifices in your life?
Of course. I mean, life itself can be a sacrifice. There's like the saying goes, there's different levels to this. And we've all, you know, I mean, women sacrifice their lives when giving childbirth. You know, we can go on and on and on. But yeah, there's different levels of sacrifice. So we'll just try to touch on all of them if you like.
Yes. But today I really want to focus on sacrificing people who sacrifice people for gain, for money, for power, for celebrity status. And I believe that this is a touchy subject for a lot of people because people don't want to acknowledge that this does happen, that people sacrifice people for money and fame. And people are scared to. You know, I think it's time for people to talk about things that, you know, you don't want to talk about, but that's really happening. We have to face it today.
Sure.
And the reason why I'm bringing up this topic today is because it was told to my son, my oldest, that just turned 25. Happy birthday, Aaron. Yesterday. And that he wasn't supposed to be born. So I know that sounds crazy.
Really?
He was over a mutual friend of me and his father, Blue Da Vinci's house. He's recording with his son doing music. Yes, my son is musically talented as well. And a gentleman was visiting him. And when Blue introduced my son as Aaron Hall, Gloria Velez's child, the gentleman told my son he wasn't supposed to be born. So this was shock for my son. My son was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? That's not something you say to someone you just met, you know? Right. So he said, call your father, FaceTime your father. I'll confirm the whole story. And my son got on FaceTime with his dad and this gentleman. And they told my son this story, which I never told him ever in his life. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay.
Absolutely.
So it's the year 1996. I am dating Aaron Hall. I am 17 years old and pregnant at the time. I know. We're actually in LA. And he was going to sign with Death Row Records, okay? So he's recording, doing music, you know, he's doing video shoots. And I was, you know, part of it. We were living out in a hotel, you know, because we wasn't, you know, living there. We was just recording, and he was just getting a feel of the whole, everybody was going to sign with Death Row. You know, you got Pac, you got Casey and JoJo, you got Snoop. It was amazing to be a part, you know? So, yeah, Aaron's super talented, and they want him to be a part of Death Row Records. We were invited to a Mother's Day event, 1996, and all of Death Row family and friends were supposed to come and watch, you know, their relatives perform for them. So I thought that was a beautiful thing. I was going to get my hair and nails done, and Aaron was like, I can't take you. Tupac is going to take you and make sure you're good and safe. I was like, oh, okay. You know, we're in LA and, you know, my first time out there. So, okay, he's going to make sure I'm safe. I didn't think nothing of it. And at that time, him and Pac were talking. Things seemed a little antsy. He was more on edge than usual, Aaron. And so Aaron said he had to go to a meeting. That's why he couldn't, you know, take me to get my hair and nails done. And it was an important meeting and he couldn't miss it. So Pac's going to hold me down. So I go to the salon. You know, me and Pac had deep conversations. It was the first time I've ever been alone with him and actually one-on-one. I mean, he schooled me on life. He schooled me on becoming a mom. He schooled me on just so many things that I would never forget our conversation, ever forget our conversation about this industry. I mean, me being 17 and all this is in front of me, and it's a wow factor, you know, all these celebrities and, you know, in the studio and video shoots, and this man is so deeply spiritual, so connected with, you know, himself and the worldly things that are going on. He just knew so much, and I'm grateful that I got that opportunity to have with him. And then we met up with Aaron after I got my nails and, you know, hair done. We went to the hotel, and Aaron's extra, you know, stress and pacing back and forth, and him and Pac start talking. So he's extra mean, extra just everything. And I felt like there was something going on. It's more than just business. So to let you know, allegedly, when he was, you know, going to this meeting, he was kind of pleading for my life, you know. Some of these people, to be down with the cause, you got to sacrifice people, which is insane to me. And allegedly, they told him, you know, there come a dime a dozen of her. You know, she could be replaced. I don't care if she's pregnant. You can get a pretty young thing, and it's no big deal. So allegedly, he said, no, I'll be damned. I'm not going to do that. I love her. You know, I'll die for her. So they went back and forth, and allegedly it was said, it's going to happen if you like it or not. So he buys me a white dress to go to the event, right? And the day of the event now, we're getting dressed, and he's extra antsy and very mean to me. I mean, he was mean, but he was mean. And everybody knows he was, you know, violent, verbally, physically, emotionally. But you got to understand, I was 17, naive, young, you know, so I loved him. You know, when you love someone, you make excuses for people, you know. You know, he treats you so well one minute, and the next minute he could be so ugly, and then you hold on to the goodness in them, you know? So that's what I did throughout the violence in our relationship. So the day of, we're getting dressed, and we're leaving the hotel, and we're waiting outside in front for our limo. And Casey and JoJo was standing outside waiting for their limo as well. And Aaron was just grabbing me and just being aggressive, and I hate this dress. And I'm like, you bought it for me. Like, what are you, like, you crazy? You know, like, what's going on? Like, why are you so, he was so angry. He wanted to argue with me, but I wasn't giving it to him. I was not. There was something eerie in the air for me, that it was just something different. And Casey and JoJo was talking to him and trying to calm him down and pray with him. So right there, that was kind of a God sent of angel of both of them, trying to calm him down, pray with him, talk to him, and trying to refocus his mind. So I say this before we go into the venue. When he was pleading for my life and telling that, you know, he doesn't want nothing happening to me, but he's still taking me to the venue. You know, I went over this over and over in my head. Why would he take me? Why would he put a white dress on me? It's like, you know, dressing the lamb and giving her to the wolves. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has different levels of love, or how they should love someone. Obviously, he doesn't know how to love right. But I would never put my loved one in that situation, knowing that you're going into the wolves' den. You know what's going to happen. You know what they want to do. But you should have take me home on a plane, or say, leave me alone. Don't ever talk to me. I play that back over and over again. You know, the ride to I could, like, honestly remember how I felt, the scared young girl, you know, petrified, just emotionally distraught, but so in love with him at the time. Like, literally in love with him. And, you know, I want to give him excuses. You know, that's what a lot of women do when you're abused. We give them excuses after excuses, but, you know, maybe he felt obligated to. You know, he wanted to be famous. He wanted them to be accepted. But you got to have limits and sacrifices, you know, to want to be rich or to want to be famous. You got to have limits. You know, you can't, that limit of sacrificing a person shouldn't be ever.
Right.
So we go in the car, we drive to the venue, we pull up. He grabs my hand. You know, the same thing he always says, look at me, don't look at no man. You know, an aggressive person that, you know, super controlling. You know, the same routine. We walk in. So when we walk in, before we enter the venue, of all the people and the cameras and all the family that's sitting down at the tables, this old lady was walking out, being escorted out, actually. A mature lady. She was like in the 70s or 80s year old. Had an entourage, and she stopped Aaron and I. She grabbed my belly, and I was only 4 months, but super skinny. I wasn't even showing. And she says, "Don't worry, your son is going to be all right. He's going to be healthy, and he's going to be good," which we didn't know if we're having a boy or a girl. Then she looks at Aaron and tells him, "You know what? You be good to her and you protect her." And she prayed on us. That's God. God sent an angel right there because his whole demeanor changed. Because he was trying to get angry in the car. He was trying to start a fight, maybe to justify what's going to happen or was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You know, I play that over and over in my mind. Like, if that lady didn't stop, or, you know, if she didn't say a prayer, or Casey and Jojo didn't pray outside the hotel, you know, that was God sending him, like, you know, what are you doing, Aaron? You know what I mean? You know of God. You know what I mean? You come from church.
Right,
so we walk into the venue. Cameras, you know, video cameras, taking pictures. So we greet people, still by his side. We walk into the back of the venue, you know, because there's a stage. And so we walk in the back of the stage. He pulls a chair to the side of you see the stage, and there's the back entrance when you're performing and you're waiting to go on stage. So he puts a chair, sit here. I said, okay. But he was serious and aggressive. I was like, damn, he's like, I'm still have no idea. I'm oblivious of what's going on or what's going to happen or what they tend to do. This female, like, runs towards Aaron, and then he walks her halfway, grabs her, and they start talking, and they're in each other's face. So a 17-year-old's mind, you know what I'm thinking? They fucking. You know what I'm saying? Right? She's approaching, she's screaming, so I'm thinking, oh, I'm here, I'm pregnant. Right. You know, she's upset, Aaron's a hoe, you know, he's the nasty man, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, listen, what's so crazy and mind-boggling to me, like, I would never hit Aaron back, even though he was physically, you know, physical with me. But anybody else that would confront me, I would fight. I was a fighter. I was brave. But with him, I didn't step up for myself until I had my child. Then I was like, enough is enough. But so when she was screaming, and I was like, what up, bitch? Let's go, you know? So that was my mentality. That's hot. Even though I was pregnant, I was like, let's go, bitch. So I'm thinking Aaron's fucking her. She's upset. I'm here. He brought me here. So the mood changed. People started moving towards Aaron and I. Men. And then I said, ooh, it felt eerie. I said, something's different. This is not you know, I'm fucking your man. It's a, you know, when you're hard, you feel something's wrong.
Right. Okay.
And then, so I shut up quick. I like was looking at the room and seeing, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck's really going on. Because I see the fear now in Aaron's face. Like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So I see the fear that it's more than just they fucking, right? So within the commotion and people started moving towards, and you see the dudes, Pac runs. He runs towards Aaron, grabs up the girl, and says, nobody fucking touch her. Points to me. And he goes, she's family, she's Aaron's wifey. I told you nobody fucking touches her. So I looked and I was like, my mind's like, what the fuck is going on? He drags her out the side of the door. You know, there's always like back entrance to lead outside. And it was a back entrance, and a lot of people follow. When Pac moves, people follow. And they followed him outside. And then Aaron standing in front of me like a guard dog. He was like, don't move, don't say shit. And I'm like, yeah, I had no idea what was going on. So we waited patiently until Pac came inside. And, you know, my heart's racing because, you know, your senses tell you something's wrong. That this is not right. You know, especially the people that you see around in the back. You know, it's not like we're in blue tuxedos. You know, we're in an all-white party. You know, we got some thugs. We got some gangsters. You know, it's real live shit that can go pop off. And I got that, but I didn't know how real it was going to get, or what they wanted to do, I should say. So Pac comes in and comes up to us and be like, you know, you guys are good. And looks at Aaron and says, don't stay long. Like dead up like that, don't stay long. And then hugged us and then went on stage. And he's my God, not knowing at that point he was my angel. He saved my life. I mean, I'm happy that Aaron stood up and grabbed, and he was like, no, you know, but I'm mad that he brought me there anyways, you know, because he had a choice. You know, God always gives you a choice. Demons always give you a fucking choice. You know, that was his choice to bring me there to those wolves. You know, a lamb 17 and pregnant. Yeah. So maybe he was contemplating with himself. I don't know if he was battling himself, but Pac saved my life. And I'm grateful that he saved my life. And we stood for a little while and we said goodbye. And before we said goodbye and left, one of the demons came up to me and said, "You're blessed," you know, and said a bunch of other things that I will not say. But I mean, I was looking a demon in the eyes, you know, he was telling me that you almost got, and I felt it in my soul. Like when he stared at me and looked at me and was like, "Oh, you just passed, you almost died." Like, and I felt it. Like I felt his aura, his heaviness. You feel that shit, you know? And then we left and then we went to the hotel. He didn't go to any other recordings. He didn't go to any other video shoots. And we went on a plane and left. A few days later, we never turned around. And then 4 months later, Pac dies. And I was devastated, you know, because in the beginning, I didn't know that he saved my life. I know he saved maybe an ass whipping because it looked like more than one wanted to kick my ass. But I didn't know the reason that they wanted to, you know, leave me to die. You know, the setup allegedly was to make it look like a gang thing, you know, beat her up to death, you know, and leave me on the side of the road somewhere. So that's what allegedly they were supposed to do. And whatever else, because there was dudes approaching. So it wasn't just a female, you know, she had dudes with her.
What was her purpose? The female.
To drag me out, to start it off. Remember, it's all about a look. So it's got to look like gang related, grabbing up another girl, dragging her out of the venue, and then whatever the dudes and the guys beat me up, rape me, whatever they wanted to do, and leave me on the side of the road for dead. So that was the plan. That's what they wanted to do, you know. And you know, I want people to know when I want to bring it back, like 4 months later, you know, Pac dies, and I remember where I was at. I remember I was driving. I was in South Florida. I remember just crying because, you know, he had so much more to give. Like, I'm grateful that before he left, he saved my life. Like, that's like, you know, he thought I was worthy enough, I should say. You know, I'm sure that he came across a lot of things and helped a lot of people, but he stopped and said, "You know what? I'm going to save this young girl." You know, that's incredible to me. You know, I'm thankful because my son is here. I'm still here, you know, and I want to tell the story because in this industry, there's a lot of ugly. There's a lot of good too, you know. But we have to acknowledge the ugly too. You know, we can't just hide it. And, you know, a lot of people were telling me, "Don't say this story. You shouldn't say this story." But why not? It happened. It's my life. You know, I want people to know that I forgive Aaron. So I don't want people to be like, cancel Aaron. No, there's no need. He has great music. He's super talented. He just did a lot of bad decisions. And he wasn't a nice guy back in the day. I hope that he's different now. I pray for him. I want him to be happy. You know, I want him to live a peaceful life, you know. But I just want people to know that, you know, you can be successful without giving in, without crossing the line over. We have a choice. I just want people to know you have a choice. And
no question,
being successful is not fame. Being successful is not being rich. People have this, you know, stigma, this vision of success. Success is my children are happy. My children are at peace, you know.
And at the end of the day, you have to think of that. I mean, we all faced with certain challenges, you know, and experiences.
Right.
That's certainly a unique experience that a lot of young ladies will be able to, and people in general will be able to benefit from, because if you look at things, I mean, you came through. I mean, Tupac came, but because his love for Aaron says, "Oh no, don't touch her."
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of connectivity on that. You know.
Let me say that. Let me touch on that. He loved Aaron. Tupac loved Aaron. They got along. They understood each other. Right. You know, but then Aaron was hard-headed as well. I mean, Pac was too, but Pac saw the light. Pac was so. Oh my God! Like people say, they woke. He was awakened back in the day. The industry, life, you know, our government. He was so in tune with everything, and he was trying to teach us, me and Aaron. And he loved Aaron because he saw the potential in him, you know, and I've always I still see the potential in Aaron, you know, even through all the pain and hurt. Right. I still want him to be successful. I still want him to be happy because that's the person I am. It took me a long time, don't get me wrong, to forgive him. Right. You know, it didn't happen overnight, no. But I'm in a different place now. You know, all the people who have hurt me, I forgive. You have to for myself, not for him. I do it for myself so I can be at peace. Right. But you're absolutely right. He did it for the love of Aaron. And then he saw me and said, you know what? I'm going to save this young girl. You know, she's worthy of saving. And I'm so grateful for that. Yeah. We all your perception?
Well,
conflicted,
you know,
yes.
Yeah, there was, from what you're telling me, you know, he was conflicted in terms of making choices. Maybe he knew, maybe what he was supposed to do is just go to a certain point, maybe knowing that Tupac would intervene. There's a lot of things, you know, we don't know.
Right, exactly.
But I hear.
Right, because I fight with myself, you know? Right. What would I have done if I was in that predicament? Would I bring my loved one there? No, but I'm not Aaron, you know? So my choices are different from what obviously he chose. You know, was that the reality? Was Tupac supposed to? Was that the plan? Because it didn't seem like it. He just looked, it's like, oh shit, and he ran, you know? We will never know the full truth, you know, but I'm happy that how it came about, you know? They both stood up for me at the end of the day, Aaron and Tupac. So
are you at peace with yourself inside? Are you at peace with are you at peace with yourself right now? Because that was, you know, that, I mean, do you feel that experience has some sort of effect on you throughout your life, or was you able did leave you conflicted for a long time after that? Because you were a young girl.
Yes, I was 17. It made me untrustworthy of this industry. A lot of things that I was told, schooled.
That's understandable.
Through my teen years of who to watch out for, what to watch out for. So that's why I was super careful, you know, who I rolled with. That's why I rolled with a lot of street dudes, because they're loyal. A lot of people will talk about me and they're like, oh, you hung out with from the Bronx, from, you know, DC and Detroit. Yeah, because you know what? They have my back. They have my best interest, you know? Right. They're not owned by this label or this company. I know if I go, I know I'm safe. That's why I rolled the way I rolled, you know, throughout my whole career. I felt safe with, you know, my people from the street. I mean, that's how I can say it, you know. So you'll get to understand throughout the podcast that, you know, why I did what I did, and, you know, why she hung out with these people, because I was protecting myself. You know, this game is not peaches and cream, you know. You're not walking in there with an ice cream and they're going to be like, oh, let's just make money together. You know, some of these companies you have to sacrifice, you know, yourself, your image, you know, the way you look, the way you talk, who you're around, everything. You got to give up you. You shouldn't be able, you don't have to give up you to be you. If you're, I'm creative, you came at me because I'm creative. Why do I got to change? Because they want that control.
And there's levels of the word sacrifice, like we just said, you know, because sometimes we have to sacrifice one thing so something will benefit you in your career. Sometimes you have to sacrifice something else so that others may benefit. So now we're segueing into other levels of sacrifice. But in regard to that one that you had to deal with, that's an experience that a lot of people have not even entertained.
Have you ever
in terms of having
been through that experience?
Something of that level, no. I've seen it because as in this industry, we were always came in at my thing was always be in control. My brothers laugh at me because I always activate well in a position of power. So for me, it was never about the music business. It was never about the music. It was about the music business. When we came into business, I was always gifted with voice, but I always wanted to know about the business. That's why we came in as managers, producers, songwriters, actors, singers. So I want to be in a position of power. So I never had to be on that end of it, but I knew it existed because I dealt with all the powers that be, you know. So
right.
we knew certain things that existed. My thing was I'm a protective lion. So I always made sure that my brothers and my group was protected. I was like that even when I was in the street, you know, my brothers didn't know who my people were. They just knew they was protected. I was that guy.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
So the same
you
thing.
Understand me. Yes.
Oh, no doubt. So, I mean, but I'm a firm advocate of what he brings you to, he'll bring you through.
Amen.
Without question, Pac's in a greater place. Aaron's a better person for it. You're a better person for it. And God bless that, you know, you have a strong son who was able to go and get that answer, you know, from the right place. You know, that's key, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
and
key.
I think it was supposed to be told to him because he wants to be in this music industry. And that's not luck that he bumped into someone from Death Row back in the day. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't just usually happen. God wanted to say, buddy, you know, it's not all peaches and cream. You know, watch your step, watch who you know, do music with or whatever. He wants to be a writer or a producer, but you got to be careful. You know, my son is from the suburbs. He ain't from the streets, you know? So we can teach him. I can teach him as much as implant that seed in him, but he's still got to learn himself, you know? So I'm glad that he's hearing stories, things that I didn't say and coming from another man because it resonates in his mind differently if I told him and another man telling him, which is crazy.
Absolutely.
But,
Absolutely.
And it stuck with him. And he was like, oh my God, Mom, you know, you went through some shit. I said, yeah, buddy. You know? So
Right. That's
but what did you get from, I want to ask your perception of the story of him buying me a white dress. Am I reading into much of it? Because, you know, when I think about it, it gives me goosebumps. It gives me like, you know, him trying to make himself upset. Like, I know he was fighting his own demons. I know that, you know, and we all are. You know, the demon always tries to attack you and they know your weaknesses in life. You know, either be about sex, either be about drugs or whatever the case may be. You know, it just, you know, it mind boggles me because, you know, I was pregnant, you know, I would have done anything for him. You know what I'm saying? To actually take me in a white dress, that's just like some movie shit that doesn't fucking happen. You know what I'm like? Real shit.
Have you guys ever had a conversation about that particular part of it?
No, a lot of things he don't want to discuss.
Oh, no. Okay. So
a lot of things he gets emotional. He gets emotional. Certain things.
Right.
He apologized to me about everything that he have done, things that happened.
That's good.
But he doesn't like talking in detail. He gets. I feel his pain. I feel that he feels sorrow what he done. I feel that he repented. You know, I do feel that. But of course, you know, when you're abused, you want to ask questions, you know, but you're never going to get the right answers. So I'd rather not go in depth with them and bring up old wounds with him. You know, the only reason why I'm discussing it with people, because I want people to open up their third eye of what's going on in the world. I want to bring up topics that people don't talk about, you know.
Absolutely,
you know, shed light on things.
And not only that, but I think you're showing that sometimes, you know, the main path towards the inner enlightenment is revealing and self, you know, that's therapy for you too, even at this stage. You know what I mean?
It is.
Even at this stage. So, I mean, that's healthy. You know what I mean? That's healthy. We all have ways of bringing it out, and that's the way you find a solution. You know what I mean? I mean, you have done legendary things in what you do. You know, Tupac's a legend, Aaron's a legend. I mean, there are lots of things, you know, and there's things that I know I could have done differently as well, too. You know what I mean?
Right. We all have. I agree.
Right. So
nobody's perfect. Yes.
Right. So the thing is, how can we impact and engage others? You know, so when I think of that, I'm like, I'm going to have to give that one some thought. Because, like, okay, what's the meaning of that? Because that symbolizes a lot of different things.
It does. You know it does.
Sure.
I truly agree. The colors you wear, the choice, because he picked it out. I mean, he always picked my clothes out, how my makeup should be, how my hair should be. That's a sign of controlling, ladies. It's just, I could laugh at it now in certain sense, and it gets me choked up in a sense too. I have different emotions, like a roller coaster.
Sure.
You know, because I've gone over it in my head, but I'm past it. But I wanted to share it, and I think that
well, that's important.
anybody,
that's important. That's important. That's what I'm saying. That's going to open up, and you're going to find that, you know, in various degrees, maybe not to that extreme, but there are a lot of women that are dealing with challenges, that because you've opened it up. When I came clean about me beating cancer 3 times, you'd be surprised. Wherever I go, it opened up people to say, you know, I did it, and that's healing. That's spiritual, energetic healing. So this is going to help open up a lot of young ladies who deal with domestic triumphs, what I call it. I don't like to say domestic violence, because one time I used to be a social worker, so I've seen it firsthand, and I co-produced a play with a woman named Naomi Paris on, you know, domestic violence. I used domestic triumph, saying we can come through that. So you're going to find a lot of young ladies that are dealing with what you have championed to various degrees are going to seek you out for that. So, I mean, there's purpose there too, you know?
Yeah, it's amen.
Amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, I mean, sacrifice, you know, would you sacrifice someone for gain? Like, you have to really, would you be in a position that someone would give you millions, or someone will make you famous and promise? A lot of people would. If, you know, like, just like the movie that just came out, you know, it's a game, you know, old school games, and they're killing each other for gain, for money. You know, that's real life. Most people would do it if they were put in position to.
That's a real
And that's
game?
the number one. That's the number one movie in the country on Netflix.
Wow, say that again. I didn't know about this. I'm behind the scenes, boss. Say it again.
Yes, it's the number one movie on Netflix.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and it's a game playing. A lot of people owe money. They're in debt, so they get people who are desperate, in need, you know, of money to play a game. And it's Squid Game. And I watched it, and they go for desperate people, you know, needing money. You know, either, you know, the girl was trying to get her child, her brother, you know, out of a foster home, and, you know, people are in debt in their business or want to take care of their mother that's ill, whatever the case may be. But they attack people they prey on people who need money and play this game, and, you know, everybody dies, and the last one will receive the wealth, which is insane. But a lot of people would play that game.
Wow.
So it's no difference from these big corporations saying, I'll make you famous if you do this, this, and that. It's the same shit. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You're playing a game, you know? So you got to look at it that way. And it was the number one movie in, I guess, in many countries, not just United States. Yeah.
The game of life.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. And it intrigued everybody. You know why it was so intriguing? Because most people would do it. Most people would do it. I wouldn't do it. I mean, before I wanted to be famous, I wanted to be in the spotlight. Not anymore. I want to shed light. I want to shed love. I want to be successful enough to take care of my kids. I don't have to be famous. That's not in the cards. I don't care for that. I don't care to be acknowledged. I just want to help people reach out and do what I love,
good.
You know,
That's
put
good.
good music out, you know, meet great people like you, you know, it's a blessing, you know.
Absolutely.
We met on a whim too.
Just
so
like
that's
that.
Not by accident, it's by chance.
Right. Yeah. It's almost like been there, done that to a degree, you know. Once you've accomplished certain things and been certain things, like, okay, what's my next season, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I've never thought about sacrificing anyone in that regard. There have been times where I've thought about possibly sacrificing myself. I would sacrifice myself for my children in a minute. You know,
Amen.
That's goes without saying. But in terms of that, sometimes I'm like, well, you know, God, you wouldn't bring me to this if it wasn't something positive. And all I can think about is it going to benefit my family? And I would go forth, you know. Sometimes we can't do that either. We need to use the tools that He's given us. You know, because He's a busy God. So He gives us tools of, you know, no, maybe not. Let me get, you know, I tell people, you don't have to have all the answers. The definition of genius is having the genius to surround yourself with genius. You know, just make sure you can get the right answer somewhere else, and you'll find that, you know what? Nah, maybe not, you know. I'm sure that people that has, because that fame is intoxicating and it's meaning. It means a lot to other people. And lots of times when I speak out, people have come to me saying, you know, when I saw you on Unsung, when I saw how you approached your challenge, you know, it saved my life. You know, it prevented me from giving up. I've had that thousands of times, and that's when I know, and you're going to have that too, that, there's purpose. There's fulfilling purpose.
In everything.
More than
yes.
That. Yeah, man. So, so giving your time can be a wonderful sacrifice too.
Yeah, but I've learned through sacrificing a lot for my children and family that you got to have limits too, because they will take advantage of it and not appreciate, the sacrifices that you have done. And I've learned that even though you sacrifice so much for them, don't expect it in return at all.
That's the key.
I've learned that too.
That's the key.
Even acknowledgement or, appreciation. Not everybody that you sacrifice for, not everybody that you love will return that. Not even grateful a little bit. And that hurt me for a long time, and I had to learn to get over that as well.
You have to. I coined a phrase called appreciation without expectation. Because sometimes just do it and don't look for nothing in return. It'll come back euphorically some other kind of way.
Amen. Right, not just directly from them, right.
Yeah, because I tell people...
It's hard. That's hard.
It's hard. Well, you know what?
It's hard.
Another phrase, expectation is like a 5-star hotel, and disappointment owns most of the top floor suites. You understand? So sometimes, you know what I mean? So
that's
sometimes,
some real shit.
Yeah. I mean, fuck it. Don't always expect in return. It'll come in other kind of ways. That's how it works.
Right.
Just do what you do. But you're right. Sometimes you have to protect your energy and say, what? It's enough.
There's a limit, because they can start sucking out your spirit, your everything, your glow, and they won't care, even your loved ones. So you have to have limits for everybody. Sometimes you got to give them that tough love, like, oh, motherfucker, no, not today. I got to think of me, And I had to learn that, because I'm such a giver. Like, it makes me happy to give. It makes me happy to see other people happy. And I put people before me. And I've recently had to learn that I got to put me in front too sometimes, I got to think of my health and my well-being and my state of mind and my peace, you know?
Self-love. I put that out yesterday, because sometimes, you can give and give unto yourself, and you'd be like, you know what? Why is there no sustainability to that level of love? Why does it fade? All of a sudden, they're not perceiving you the same way. They're not giving up the same energy, and you give up to yourself. And that's when you have to be a little more selfish, You have to be selfish to be selfless sometimes, I have a dear brother, friend of mine right now, Kango Kid from UTFO. He's going through a very severe cancer challenge. And it's very sad. I want everyone to give love to him. And, I give of myself, and I'm doing everything. And the challenge is so great from what he's dealing with and health coverage that every now and then I have to step back and breathe and say, okay, Paul, hold on. Take a minute to replenish your reservoirs, because you'll be good to nobody, including him, if you're not replenished yourself. So you have to push back and go back, So, I find that you got to do that in life, So
with everybody, but it's more difficult with your loved ones.
Yeah,
because we give so much.
Yeah, all chambers are open. All the fences mechanisms down. You checked all the toe taboos at the door, and you be like, yo, that's why.
You know what I've learned? That's so true. I've learned to put people on timeout. You'd be like, oh, you don't appreciate me? Oh, you on timeout, and you gonna miss me. That's what I do. I swear to God, that shit works.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like dealing with a kid, but you got to treat a lot of people like kids. I swear to God.
Yeah. You got to.
It works.
That's a lesson.
It works.
That's a lesson.
It works.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. But I mean, certain levels of sacrifice. So have you ever come across someone that you seen that was going through their level of sacrifice, whether it's to the extent of what you dealt with or other things, and you said, you know what, it's almost my job to intervene or drop a little jewels on them? Yeah. Can you tell me about one of those?
Yeah, definitely. I think for sacrificing, I think women, we sacrifice us as just being a human being in relationships and giving us all to our man. And the man, not everybody. Let me make that clear. Not all men, but a lot of men want the control. Very abusive. What you can do, what you can say, what you can post, and not let her be her. I've seen a lot of women get abused in front of me, and I will not tolerate that. I intervene all the time if I see, even strangers. I will not care unless I have my little one. Of course, I can't put my little one in danger. But if I'm there by myself or with friends, I'm going to intervene, because people have intervened for me and helped me out.
That's
So I'll be
right.
damned if I'm going to sit back and just let someone get smacked up. I will not.
Right.
I think a lot of women need self-love. I don't care how good you look, how big your ass is, how big your titty is,
Right.
how beautiful your face is. We all need that boost, that confidence. We're all looking for love, and a lot of us are insecure when it comes to the love factor.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And we sacrifice too much for love, for a relationship. We
Right.
gotta have boundaries.
Right.
You know, we shouldn't be, I feel like that's why I'm not in a relationship. I feel like we come to add to each other, not subtract. This is who I am. Love me for me. You're supposed to add to me, not to subtract. I shouldn't have to sacrifice my life or my career or my children or this to be with you. Then we're not supposed to be together. We're not walking in the same, path life.
Right.
We try to always fit in. We should fit in together.
There you go.
That's
there
when
you go.
relationships, work. If
Right.
we're just trying to fit in one shoe. No, you have your
Nah.
shoe. I have my shoe. You know what I'm saying?
I used to tell people, sometimes I used to run across to a young lady. She'd say, "Oh, Anthony, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh my God, your body, your energy, your mind. Oh my God, I just want to build.
God.
I just want to build my world
I've been there,
around you." And then she'll say, "I want to build my world around you." And I'm like, "Hold on, motherfucker. Wait a minute there." Because if you're going to build your world around me, that means when you fall, you're going to fall on top of me. That means we all... No. You build your world, I build my world.
That's right.
We put it together, make
We
a
come
doubly
together.
strong world.
Yes.
That's how you should do it,
Empire, building together. Yes. And it'd be a better respect level of each other.
That's
so
got to
like
stay.
You have...
Right.
Yes.
Right. So
because if I'm depending all on you...
Right. Exactly. No. But the other side of that, from a man's perspective now, I think men, not all, but I think that men, we sacrifice ourselves too, because it goes both ways. A man will give them to himself because it's your nature to be a protector, a provider, or when you can. And
not all men do that.
No, right. Well, let's say some.
Right. Some. Okay, the ones that do. Right.
Right. A protector, provider, as much as they can, and a listener. That's very key. And understanding,
Amen.
And sometimes you'll find that that's taken for granted. Sometimes you'll find that that's short-lived and not appreciated as well, too. So
you feel like women don't listen? Is that what you're saying?
No, I feel
appreciated.
No. Well, sometimes I feel that men, we need to be better listeners.
Oh, okay, you do. Okay,
we do.
Got
right.
you.
So that's for sure. Because I think it starts with the men. We're the leaders. But I'm saying on that side, you do have men who are like that, and sometimes women may not appreciate that or may not be longly appreciated. And then you see, and it's like, you know what, I ain't doing this no more. So it goes both ways. There's stuff on both sides. Surely more women than men, but there is stuff on both sides.
So what do you think men usually sacrifice in a relationship?
You know what? Okay, you'll find I have lots of little phrases.
What have you sacrificed in a relationship?
Okay.
You.
I've given it all. And I've received it all.
Beautiful.
Well, it goes both ways. Yeah, but I've done that. But I'll give you a little story. There once was a man named Samson. Okay? Okay? And he lived in Greece. A very powerful, very strong man, And I mean, powerful, And one time he met this beautiful little young lady named Delilah. They was kicking it, they was going to clubs and Greece and whatnot, hanging, loving, making love, everything. And then Samson made the mistake of telling Delilah the secret to his power. 6 months later, Samson was somewhere in the road, about 70 pounds lighter, and Delilah became a millionaire with a string of barbershops all over Greece and Athens.
So stupid.
Ergo, sometimes we give off our power, we give off that energy, and if it's not received or embraced well, you'll find that it's not long-lived. And some women, not all, because I love our queens, I hold them up. But sometimes they'll find that they're not looking at you the same way. They're not talking at you the same way. They're not feeling you the same way, because you've given that of yourself, And not in all cases, but I find that happens, And why can't that level of newness be sustained? Why can't it be constantly giving and constantly flowing, I mean, that's, why do you think the divorce rate is went up to 70%?
I can tell you why it changed. Women wasn't always like that. Okay. You got to go with the culture, the music, I mean, back in the day, it was more R&B love, and you're putting women on a pedestal. Now it's like, shake your ass. If he don't love you, he loves you, you better buy a bag. You better put the grip on. It's stupid. So the mentality of these young women, if you love me, you can give me a bag. If you love me, you get me a Mercedes. If you love me, materialistic doesn't mean love. Anybody can buy you that. That's not showing love. But it's the ignorance of a lot of these young, older women too are doing it as well. So when you come together as a unity, as a bond, she's not looking at you as, I'm a provider, it's going to be my husband's love of my life. If we fall, he falls, I fall. If I'll pick him up, or we're going to grind to. No, she says, give me daddy, give me daddy, give me daddy. But this is the girls today. It's not like, no, I got to make my own money. You respect me, I respect you. Let's go get this, Poppy. Let's go. No, the mentality's like, huh? I mean, that's the mentality. Everybody, let's get that bag. Let's get that bag. Like, what? Like, yo, your fucking vocabulary. Yo, no. Let's go buy this business, Poppy. Let's go buy that property.
There you go.
Let's go together. Or let's you know what? Let's go feed the homeless, babe. Let's go do that for this weekend. You know, let's go give some toys out. Christmas is coming. Let's go do things like that is intriguing. Things like that is amazing to me. Things I want to do with my significant other, my person. But these women don't think that way.
I've been fortunate and blessed to have strong women in my life, from whether it's my mom's, my daughter, she's a physician assistant. She's as strong as they come. Got a wonderful, and I'm very, very, very proud of her. So I've been blessed in that way. Beautiful. But with men, we have to learn, to balance things. I'll give you another.
Amen.
You like my little Samson and Delilah story? I got another one. I got another one for you.
Okay, give it to me.
Here's another one. There was two brothers. They was driving a Bentley. Right, they look good, sharp. You can see they were successful, man. And they pull up to the drive-thru McDonald's, and the girl behind is looking fine as hell. And she's leaning over, showing her, please, we'd like your fries and shit. They were like, oh, yeah, absolutely. They said, hey, when you get off, give me a call. Give me a call. They gave her that number because she's beautiful.
Right.
Makes sense. Good. Next shift comes through. There was these two beautiful fine-ass women. They pulled up to the same McDonald's in Bentley. And there was this good-looking, well-built dude behind the window. And he said, hey, what's going on, ladies? Would y'all like some fries? They said, excuse me, motherfucker. Can we have our food? Thank you. Bye. Ergo, they like, no. You working at McDonald's. I don't care how good you look. No, thank you. Keep it pushing. The guy's like, let me give you my number. Give me a call. Guys, don't always chase shite and bright objects all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because most women,
women, yeah. Because I've seen, hold on. Rich, wealthy women, Sure. Get a young thing that works at, McDonald's.
Yeah, well, that too. And that's why I love Elizabeth Taylor for two reasons. Because she's like, you know what? My man, Fortinsky, he ain't on my, but you know what? He works for me. He works for me. He wasn't as blunt and all that, but she got married over and over and over. And why?
Well, she wanted to find Mr. Right.
Because I could do that. She does whatever works. Right,
exactly.
So it's all about what works for you, But there's lots
it is.
of
I want to be married one time. Well, hopefully, God's willing, just marry one time, and it's got to be right. I'm not going to marry just to say I'm married. No, just say I'm married, y'all, and post it, and be like, oh, finally. No, I've been in long-term relationships, but if they're right for you,
Sure, you feel it, and then you take the time to make sure that it's sustainability. That's it,
Exactly.
Everybody said, but sustainability. And back to that word sacrifice, guys don't realize that when a woman gives childbirth, man, that's a sacrifice. That's a sacrifice.
Yes.
That's life on the line.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
You actually.
Your life changes. Yeah. Your life changes when you give birth. It really does fall all on the women because the men can get up and leave literally and do absolutely nothing. And I had two of those. Wow. And I have a 9-year-old, so I sacrificed my career. And I stopped everything for my son because he has autism.
Right.
So he was diagnosed at 2 years old, and we'll get into that in another episode.
Yes,
of how he was diagnosed and what happened. But I had to sacrifice my career and stop everything literally and just be a 24-hour mom, and that was a sacrifice. It was hard because I'm such a free spirit. I'm open. I love traveling, and to stop everything. I mean, like I said, I'll do anything for my children, but I got depressed for a lot, a couple, not every day, but I had my moments in the closet crying or in the shower, because my spirit needs to run, it's just different when, things just dead stop. God just said, you need to stomp your brakes but it woke me up and matured me.
That's right.
I've learned so much through the journey with me and my little one.
Right.
That I will share on this podcast.
Nice.
And things that I've learned to help autistic, other autistic children and adults.
Okay.
That I've learned so far along my journey, and hopefully it'll help you as well. But I had to sacrifice my career, my time, my life, because I couldn't really date anybody because it would be unfair because I couldn't give them the quality time and the time, in the beginning. I had to truly focus on my son. So a lot of people are like, where have she been? What happened to her? Oh, no, I stopped. That was my decision. And my children always come first. Never career, never money, never none of that.
Wow.
So,
see? Yeah. And there have been people in my life, like I think about when my third cancer came through and it was leukemia and it was like life or death. Oof. I know so close friends that came and sacrificed to me before. That's why I give myself to Kango, because it takes a village. No matter how strong I am, I've always been that champion. But it's the energy I got from my ex-wife Kay. She sent certain energies. My wife Michelle was separated, but was still very, very cool. My brother Lou, he sacrificed because there was he was my 10 for 10 during the match. And there's certain things he chose not to do so as not to interfere with when I had to get that transplant from him. And my brother B would have been the same way. Wow. And my children and everything. So I know what it is to be the recipient of sacrifice. The good thing about it is they all know in a heartbeat I would do the same.
You would do the same.
In a minute. That's what gives you purpose, when you know there's something you give of yourself more than yourself. Yeah, so it goes back and forth, absolutely.
Yeah, you live differently too as that, you're more careful, cautious because you're living for other people as well, because so many people depend on you.
That's right.
And I've learned that. But at a young age, I was a little hothead. And through my podcast, I'll let you, give you a little more insight when I was young. And my mentality,
Okay.
I'm sure that you too I would love for you to come on future, episodes. Because I'm sure you got stories when you was young in this industry as well.
I'm already putting it out there. I'm going to be a recurring guest on Glow.
Please.
All the time. We're going to do some things,
I'm sure we have a lot of similarities and wild times.
Absolutely. What? I shared a few of them when I did Unsung. I mean, there was time where I walked into my hotel room and the room literally talked to me. Okay? The toilet paper.
Wow,
unrolled,
you was on some other shit.
The toilet paper unrolled like, yeah, motherfucker, we got to get on in here. There was a moose head. It turned my way. Yeah, nigga, we getting on in here. Shit like that. The drapes are flat. Because the power you have. Oh yeah, we got some stories. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't relate to you on that topic because honestly, a lot of people have a misconception. I never did drugs. I've never popped a pill.
Really?
I've never sniffed coke. I've been around it. I've seen it. I swear to God. But you have to come on that episode and why at 5 years old, what I said to myself, and why I told myself at 5 I would never do drugs. So
Gloria, let me tell you something.
We have to talk about that.
When we started the music business, I was 12, Lou was 13, B was 8. We started professionally.
You was 12.
Oh yeah, I started professionally. We won the Apollo Theater 4 nights in a row, and we've been through from then. Yeah, because I started singing on the street in Bed-Stuy when I was 10 years old, because I always had a voice,
right?
And all my uncles around me, and then from all the way up to being hit producers, writers, all that thing. To this day, I've never smoked marijuana in my life. I've never taken.
But other things.
I've never, my drug of choice was women, you know, but I've never, I've never did anything of that way, from bodybuilding, and I've been blessed to inspire millions of bodybuilders and athletes around the world through fitness and training, and that's how you know God gives us tough.
Yeah, we have so much to talk about.
You already know,
and
baby.
I love you for blessing my first episode.
I love it. I love it.
Me too. And people got to know that we're doing a podcast. And another individual.
Yeah, DJ Finesse. He reached out to you. He reached out to me. I love the name. Come on, tell the name of our podcast.
Go ahead.
All right, DJ Finesse. Gloria Velez, Paul Anthony, legendary. The name of the podcast is Three Friends with Benefits. Yes. That's right. It's going to be off the chain. Y'all check
It's going to be juicy. Yes. So Glow's not just doing, this is my podcast.
This is Glow. And I'll be coming out to Miami next one, so we do it live together. Absolutely.
Yes, it's going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
And
wonderful.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening.
Absolutely.
And you guys tune in again. Yes, more to come. More to come. This is Just Glow. Your host, Gloria Velez, with my special guest,
absolutely,
Paul Anthony.
And all y'all out there, y'all keep glowing, okay?
Yes, I love that. Y'all keep glowing. I love y'all.
Take care.
Thank you, Pa.
Bye-bye. Bye.